Hey everyone, Dennis Kaye here with Belize Islands Real Estate. Hope you all are doing wonderful this weekend. Hey, listen, I've been getting some emails from clients and potential clients. First of all, expressing appreciation for my channel. So I really appreciate the feedback, but also asking questions that are on their mind. And if they are asking these questions, more of my viewers probably have the same ones. So I'm going to record this, post it to my YouTube channel so everyone can get the same information at the same time. So this particular client, thanks Steve for reaching out, really appreciate it. Steve was asking about property lines, surveys, how can you make sure that you're building on your property or that your neighbor doesn't build on your property, and then you get into some sort of legal dispute. So what I want to go through in this video is for all of you who are buying vacant land on Ambergris Caye, I want to go through some information regarding when to fill the property, when and if to have it resurveyed, different things like that, because I think the timing of this information or some of this information can be very crucial to some of you. So let me just kind of get into it. First of all, should I get my property resurveyed? All right, so in Belize, when you go to purchase a property, especially if that property has a land certificate title, which most of them do, so this would apply to any and all properties around Grand Belizean Estates, West Caye, Ambergris Bay, Spanish Reef, South Ambergris Caye, Habaneros, Punta Azul, South and North, basically anything south of Rocky Point has a land certificate title. Those past Rocky Point have something called a deed of conveyance. Now, all properties that are being sold do have original surveys complete on them. So that original survey will look something like this. And I'm going to use this as my example today. So this is an area just north of Secret Beach. Just as a point of reference for those of you watching my channel for a while, this here is that little split that separates North Secret Beach, which is down to the lower part of your screen, from, or excuse me, South Secret Beach from North Secret Beach, which is this peninsula right here. And many of you have been purchasing property on this peninsula. So I thought it'd be a good area to focus in on. So what you're looking at on your screen here is the original survey map that was done back in 2002. So if you go to buy a piece of real estate in this area, you can be given a copy of this survey map to see that it indeed was legally subdivided. This is a proper survey map. So you can see your lot, the dimensions of the lot, how many square meters it is. So this is what you would be able to see at the time of purchase. Going up a little bit further into this area here, like into this zoom, I'm zooming in here. There's two properties right here that have recently been resurveyed. Property 434 and property 439. These numbers here have the old plot map numbers. Recently, this area also has parcel numbers as well. So now we have the 4-digit parcel number. And you can see in this next slide that both of these lots have had a resurvey done. Now, what does that mean? It means a licensed land surveyor will physically visit the property with GPS in hand, and he will confirm that the property pegs that are currently there are in their correct positions, because sometimes these can get moved, perhaps over time, if there was, a storm that rolled through, or maybe your neighbor was having some work done on their property. So, maybe your property peg inadvertently got misplaced or is no longer there or got moved a bit. So having a resurvey done will show you exactly where your property markers are. Now, before I go on to when I would do this, first of all, take a screenshot of this screen. The surveyor I would recommend for those of you who own property in Ambergris Caye is named Lloyd Tingling. He does a lot of work for myself, for Israel, for other clients of mine. And there's Lloyd's email there. Just reach out to them, tell them you're working with Israel and I, and ask him about getting your property resurveyed. All right. So yeah, there you go. Now, when would I recommend you have a resurvey done? Well, when you buy the property, it doesn't matter. I don't recommend getting a survey done, resurvey when you buy the property, because it's already been surveyed. So you already have property pegs there. But what I would recommend is that before you go to do anything to the property that would improve its value. So for example, you want to get it filled, right? Maybe it's in its raw native state. You need to have a couple of truckloads of fill brought in, have it resurveyed then, because then the guy with the dump truck is going to know exactly where your property is, because what they do oftentimes when they resurvey a property is not only do they confirm where the property pegs are, these are little concrete pegs they stick in the ground, but oftentimes they'll put a stick next to it as well with an orange flag on it, or they'll spray paint it orange. So it's very highly visible to any workers showing up to the property that is the property that they need to be working on. So if you want to have it filled, if you want to put a fence around the property, definitely before you go to build, have a survey done. Now, this is really, really important, even if the property markers are there. Why? Because you could think that a particular property is yours and you could own the one right next to it or the one right behind it. All right. Just completely make a mistake on it. I've had this happen to a client who owned a property, thought for sure that they were standing on their property, had a builder come. The builder actually built a house on the property, and it ended up not being their lot. Their lot was won over. And so what do they do in a situation like that? Well, Belize law is very protective of a property owner. So by law, they had to remove the house at completely their expense. All right. So the person that made the mistake, they have to make things right. This in no way impacted the original lot owner. He gets his lot just as he wanted it. It looks the same as when he last saw the lot. So what I would highly recommend for any of you looking to build a fence, at that time, go ahead, have the land resurveyed. That way you know exactly where your land is. Not only you know where it is, but anyone coming to make the improvements to the property, also, it can be clearly identifiable. All right, so I hope this is helpful. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, especially like this is a great question. Let me know, email me. I'll throw it up my YouTube channel, and hopefully we all can learn something together here. All right, thanks a lot. Take care. Have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you soon.